All right, who else? What other informal witnesses were there?
His sister Katharine talked about how she would move the plates while she was cleaning. She talked about running her finger along the edge of the plates and feeling it rustle like thick metal.
So there are three main problems with Katharine Smith being a witness to the golden plates. 1. We have no record from Katharine herself of her handling the plates. She publicly told the story of Joseph Smith getting the plates at least twice, and never once said that she handled the plates. Another problem is that these accounts of her handling the plates are very late. Katharine's grandson Herbert first told the story in 1945, which was 45 years after Katharine had died and 118 years after the event took place. And finally, the account told by Katharine's granddaughter Mary Hancock is not supported by the accounts of those who were present at the time, namely Joseph's mother Lucy and Joseph's brother William. So this granddaughter Mary tells the story of Joseph Smith getting the plates. She said that Joseph Smith rushed home and thrust the plates into Katharine's hands, telling her to hide them. Katharine would have been 14 at this time. So the story goes that Katharine hid the plates in her bed, and she and Sophronia laid on top of the bed and pretended to be asleep. The mob then comes into the house and searches for the plates. But they didn't disturb the girls because they appeared to be asleep. And yet, if you read Lucy Maximus' history written in 1845, she says the opposite. She says that when Joseph Smith got home after getting the plates, he asked his dad and his brother Carlos and Mr. Knight and Josiah Stoll to go and search the premise, and to see if they could track down the men who ambushed Joseph in the forest. So there was no mob that came into the house. And in another place in her history, she tells about how the plates were hidden in a copper shop. She says that the mob ransacked the place. They rummaged around the house and all around the premises. But she specifically says that they did not come into the house. And we see the same thing from William Smith's autobiography, where he says that Joseph Smith was followed by two men after getting the plates and escaped to the house, which would indicate that these two men did not follow him into the house. And nowhere does William Smith talk about a mob coming into the house. Also, her grandson Herbert says that Katharine didn't tell him the story until he was in his 45th year. Except that he was only 30 when Katharine died. And then Herbert was 75 years old by the time the story was actually recorded. But either way, why did Katharine wait so long to tell her grandchildren this important story? Additionally, Katharine's granddaughter Mary Hancock was 82 years old by the time she told her story. What is with the Smiths and not writing things down when they supposedly happen?